Are you looking to unlock the mysteries of VPNs in UniFi? UniFi Network has 5 different types of VPNs. So in this video, we're going to go over each of the different types of VPNs, how each one works, and where you may want to use one type of VPN over the other to ensure that all your remote connections in and out of the network are as secure and reliable as possible. So now let's dive deep into the world of UniFi Network VPNs. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the complexities of configuring VPNs or setting up your network to be as secure and reliable as possible, and just wish that someone could handle it all for you? Well, look no further. Introducing Rogue Support by Crosstalk Solutions, your go-to resource for wireless, networking, and yes, even those tricky VPN setups. Our expert technicians are standing by to help you with your networking needs, and are especially familiar with how to configure your network for secure and reliable remote access. And the best part, we adapt to your schedule and we work seamlessly with any vendor's equipment. Each one of our Rogue technicians has been handpicked by me, not just for their top-tier technical prowess, but also for their unparalleled customer service. So check out Rogue Support on the web at rogue.support, and for a limited time, you can get 25% off your first engagement with coupon code ROGUE. Trust Rogue Support, you won't be disappointed. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and at its most basic, it's a way to connect different networks together securely. Let's start by taking a look at the various types of VPNs in UniFi Network. You're going to want to navigate to Settings and then click on Teleport and VPN. If you're on UniFi Network version 7.4 or earlier, the various types of VPNs in this page are stacked on top of each other. But starting with version 7.5, the VPNs have switched to a tabbed format with each type of VPN on its own tab. Here we can see 4 different VPN options. We've got Teleport, VPN Server, VPN Client, and Site-to-Site VPN. I'm going to go over each one of these individually, but let's start with Teleport. Teleport is UniFi's one-click install VPN. It's designed to be super easy to use, and it provides a way for your mobile devices to have access to your internal network resources. For example, if I needed to get to the web interface of my Pi-hole, my Home Assistant server, or my Synology NAS, I could connect into my UniFi gateway with Teleport through the Wi-Fi Man app, and then open up those interfaces on my smartphone or tablet. Another reason to use Teleport is to be able to surf securely through your home internet connection when you're abroad. So, for example, let's say you're at a coffee shop or an airport or a hotel and you're connected to the public Wi-Fi. Enabling Teleport creates a secure VPN tunnel from your device into your home network, and all traffic from your device flows securely through that tunnel and away from prying eyes that may be lurking on the public Wi-Fi. This is similar to what you get with a VPN proxy service, such as Private Internet Access or Surfshark or NordVPN, but without that extra monthly expense. You can test this by connecting to your UniFi network with Teleport remotely, and then visit a site such as whatismyip.com, and you should see that you're surfing through the IP address of your home internet connection. To enable Teleport in UniFi Network, just make sure that the Enabled checkbox is checked. If you're an administrator of any UniFi networks, you can log into the Wi-Fi Man app using your Ubiquiti single sign-on account, and you should automatically see any of your Teleport-enabled UniFi Network instances. But if you want to connect in users and they are not UniFi Network administrators, you can create a secure link for those users that you can then send to whomever you want in order to connect. You need to generate a new link for each user that you want to be able to connect in with Teleport, and these generated links expire in 24 hours if not accepted. When your user then clicks on the Teleport link with their smart device, it opens up in the Wi-Fi Man app, and it allows them to connect into your UniFi network instance. While Teleport is a quick and easy way to connect into your UniFi network, it's not without its limitations. The primary drawback is that you're limited to devices that can run the Wi-Fi Man app, right? Or basically only iOS and Android devices. If you want to connect your Windows PC to Teleport, you're out of luck. But there is a solution, and that leads us to our next type of VPN, VPN Server. The VPN server functionality in UniFi Network is similar to Teleport in that it allows you to access your internal network services remotely, and it also allows you to use your home internet connection for web surfing when you're connected to a remote network or public Wi-Fi. It's not quite as simple to set up as Teleport, but it gives you more flexibility in your configuration, and it gives you the ability to connect devices to VPN beyond just your smartphones or tablets that are running the Wi-Fi Man app. To create a VPN server, we need to go back to Settings, Teleport and VPN, and then you want to click on the VPN Server tab. And what you want to do here is choose the type of VPN. We've got three options at the top: WireGuard, OpenVPN, and L2TP. L2TP is an older and more insecure version of VPN. So unless you have a specific need, like some older software or hardware that can only use L2TP, I'd recommend one of these other two options. OpenVPN was the standard for a long time, but it has more recently been replaced with WireGuard, which is a lighter weight, faster, but still just as secure option as OpenVPN. And if you don't know which option to pick here, just use WireGuard. So you want to give your VPN server a name, and then in most cases, everything else can be left default. However, notice that if you change the advanced setting down here from auto to manual, you have the option of configuring your VPN network subnet as well as adding in some specific DNS servers. Now this may not matter much to you, but if, for example, you need to use different DNS servers for like Active Directory, or if you're running Pi-hole DNS servers on your network, you may want to set these manually for your VPN clients. For our purposes, I'm just going to leave this set to auto. So speaking of the VPN clients, that's the last thing that we need to do here. You should create a separate VPN client for each device that needs to be connected into your network with VPN. So to do that, we simply click Add Client, then give the client a name, and you can pretty much leave everything else default unless you specifically want to assign each client their own static IP address on the VPN network. You're going to have the option of downloading a WireGuard configuration file or scanning a QR code with like the WireGuard app on your smart device. Now either of these work, but I typically find that it's easier just to download the configuration file because it's more portable, you can email it around, and I've had trouble scanning this QR code with the camera on even like an iPhone 13. It's very small, right? So just download the configuration file and make it super easy to send to whomever needs to connect in. Then they just import that configuration file in WireGuard. Once you have your configuration, you open WireGuard on your device, you import that configuration file, and you should be able to connect within seconds. The only other configuration you may have to do is open up some ports in your firewall for WireGuard if you're in some sort of like double NAT situation. But that is a more advanced topic for a more advanced video. By and large, if your internet IP address lives on the WAN interface of your router, you're good to go without any extra steps. With both the Teleport and VPN server options, your internal networks are going to be wide open to your VPN client. So for example, if you have your default LAN, and then you've created some additional VLANs for IoT devices or surveillance cameras, your VPN clients are going to be able to see all of the devices on all of those networks. You can, however, lock those networks down with firewall rules. So let's go over a simple firewall rule configuration for these VPN options. So I've configured my dream router with a few networks. We have the default LAN that lives at 192.168.1.0/24. We've got a secondary network at 192.168.5.0/24. And then I also have the two different VPN networks that I've set up so far. I've got a network for Teleport VPN clients, which is automatically assigned at 192.168.3.0/24. And then I have a different network for my WireGuard VPN clients. So I have set up Raspberry Pis on both of these networks, right? So I have one Raspberry Pi that lives at 192.168.1.2, and I've got another Raspberry Pi that lives at 192.168.5.2. So one in my default LAN and one in what I'm calling network 2. On my smartphone, I'm connected to a completely different network. I'm not connected to this dream router where I'm doing all of this VPN work. So I'm going to enable Teleport VPN. We're going to turn it on. If I go over to Net Analyzer, I can see that my VPN IP address is 192.168.3.1. That's an IP address in the Teleport VPN network on this Dream Router. So far, so good. Coming over to Tools, I can try to ping the first Raspberry Pi in the default LAN, 192.168.1.2, and we can see by the green dot that I am getting replies from this device from Teleport VPN into the Dream Router over to the default LAN network. Let's also try to ping 5.2, start, and that is working as well. So connected to Teleport, I can ping both of these Raspberry Pis, one in the default LAN, one in the secondary network that I configured. Wide open access for Teleport users. Security-wise, this is actually backwards, right? The correct default should be to block all inter-VLAN traffic and then only specifically allow what traffic we want to allow through by creating firewall rules. So in order to do that, I first have to create 3 IP group profiles, one for all possible private internal networks, also known as the RFC 1918 private subnet ranges, and then we're going to use that one as our default block rule. We then also have to create 2 groups for our 2 different VPN networks, 192.168.3 and 192.168.4. All right, let's do that next. In UniFi, I'm going to go to Settings and then Profiles. We're going to click on IP groups, and I already have all of these profiles set up. So let me go ahead and delete those, and then we will reset them up. So the first one I'm going to create is that RFC 1918 subnets. Okay, so that's basically all of the various private subnet ranges. It's going to be an IP4 address / subnet, and we're going to say 192.168.0.0/16, add. We're going to say 172.16.0.0/12, add that one, and we're also going to add 10.0.0.0/8. We're going to click add. And now again, let's create 2 more groups, one for our Teleport VPN network and one for the WireGuard VPN network that we created. So we're going to say create new. We'll call it Teleport VPN. This is going to be an IPv4 subnet, and we're going to say 192.168.3.0/24. We're going to say add, and finally add down at the bottom. One more, create new. WireGuard VPN, IPv4 subnet, 192.168.4.0/24. We're going to say add and add. Okay, I have my 3 groups now. And now that we've defined these 3 groups, we can start playing with our firewall rules. First, we're going to want to create a firewall rule that blocks all inter-VLAN traffic by default. To get to our firewall rules in UniFi, we want to go to Settings, and then we want to click on Application Firewall, and then click on the Firewall Rules tab right here. We're going to say Create Entry, and the type is going to be LAN in. So basically, this is any traffic coming into our Dream machine from any LAN, or from a LAN, if you will. So let's go to LAN in. We're going to call this block RFC 1918 subnets. We want to do it before our predefined rules, and we want to drop all of the traffic because we want to block all of this traffic, right? So we're going to say the source is going to be port or IP group, and then the RFC 1918 subnet that we created. And the destination is going to be port IP group, and again, the RFC 1918 subnet that we created. So that's all we need to do. We're going to say add rule. And then if we come over here to the LAN section, we can see that I now have a rule on top of all of my other rules. And these rules are processed in order. So this is the first one. So any private subnet that tries to get to any other private subnet is now blocked. Okay, let's test that out. From my smart device, I am still connected via the Wi-Fi Man app to the Teleport network. Going back to my ping tools, let's try to ping the first Raspberry Pi on the default LAN of 192.168.1.2. And we can see a gray circle now, which means we are not able to ping that device. Let me stop that. Let's go back and let's ping 5.2 as well. Start. And once again, we are not able to ping. So that block rule absolutely worked. All right, so now that we have our block rule in place, let's create a rule that allows us to ping the Raspberry Pi on my secondary network from the Teleport VPN network. And in fact, we're gonna need two rules to do that because we want bi-directional communication between these networks. Let's do that next. Back in my UniFi Firewall rules, we're gonna create entry. We're gonna once again go to the LAN in as the type. Description, we're gonna say allow Teleport VPN to network 2. We're gonna do before our predefined rules, we're going to accept this time because now we are specifically allowing traffic to come through. And the source is going to be port IP group, Teleport VPN, and the destination is going to be network and network 2, my 192.168.5 network. Now, notice in this list, I have default, I've got guess, any of the networks that I create in UniFi are automatically listed as networks that can be used with firewall rules. But the VPN networks that I configured, Teleport and WireGuard, are not in there by default. That's why we had to create IP groups for those two VPN networks. So destination type network, destination network 2, and then we're going to add rule. One rule created, let's now do the opposite of that rule. So we're gonna say create entry, LAN in, we're going to say accept network 2 to Teleport VPN. Before predefined rules, we're going to accept, and the source is going to be network 2, and the destination is port IP group, Teleport VPN. Add rule. All right, so now if we look at our LAN rules in UniFi, notice that we still have the drop rule above the other rules, and these are processed in order. So right now, it's not gonna work until we come over here and we drag that one up and we drag that one up. And I just noticed that one of these descriptions I said accept and the others I said allow. So let's fix that real quick. There we go, much better. So we have two rules here, accept Teleport VPN to network 2 traffic and accept network 2 to the Teleport VPN traffic, right? So those are now allowed, we've authorized those. If we come back into Net Analyzer, let's try to ping something on the default LAN. I'm gonna try to ping this Raspberry Pi at 1.2, and we can see that it is still not working. That's good because we didn't allow that traffic to go through. So if I stop that, and then we change it to 5.2, the Raspberry Pi that lives in network 2, and hit start, now we can ping that device. There we go. Now with this very simple setup, we have security in place that prevents any communication between our networks except for what we are specifically allowing. And you can get much more granular with this. If, for instance, you only wanted VPN clients to have access to specific services on specific ports in a different network, you can lock things down even further, but that is beyond the scope of this video. Now let's talk about the third type of VPN in UniFi, VPN Client. VPN Client can be used in a couple of different ways, but in general, VPN Client means that you're using UniFi Network as a client that's connecting out to a VPN server located elsewhere. So for example, if your employer has an open VPN server that you typically VPN to gain access to resources at your place of business, you could set up a VPN client tunnel and then use traffic routes to send traffic destined for certain domains down the VPN tunnel, or you could create a completely separate VLAN where all computers and devices connected to that VLAN are going to go through that VPN client to your employer. There's a ton of different ways that this can be done. Similarly, you can use VPN Client for any VPN proxy service that supports open VPN connectivity, such as private internet access. Private internet access is the VPN proxy service that I use personally, and I've been using for over 5 years now. Link in the description below if you want to check them out. I can confirm that private internet access 100% works with the UniFi Network VPN Client functionality. By inputting an open VPN client file as well as your private internet access credentials, you can now do some pretty fancy stuff, including setting up specific devices to always use that private internet access VPN tunnel. You can use the VPN tunnel for only specific domains that you're connecting out to, or you can create a completely separate secure Wi-Fi network that allows you to connect to a different Wi-Fi SSID and know that when you're connected to that Wi-Fi SSID, any traffic is going out through that VPN proxy. Setting up and configuring private internet access for use with UniFi is a huge topic, and it's well beyond the scope of this video, but I am planning on a future video that covers this setup specifically. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any of my future tutorials. The last tab in the teleport and VPN section is site-to-site VPN. And this is a way to configure your UniFi network router to establish a secure permanent connection to another VPN router. Site-to-site VPNs are a bit more robust and complicated than the previous client-server VPN relationships we've already discussed. It's typically used to connect together remote networks where you've got different types of equipment or firewalls or routers on either side, and you connect them together with a pre-shared key. Once they're connected, you can then choose to do standard routing or policy-based routings between these two networks. I used a site-to-site VPN a few years ago to connect a Ubiquiti Edge router firewall over to a Cisco RV345P firewall, and it worked great. But given the specifics involved in the literally hundreds of different models of firewall that could be used to connect to, it would be absolutely impossible to cover everything in this overview video. And given that this is also the least used and most advanced form of VPN connectivity that most users are going to encounter, we're going to leave it here with another reminder that if you need a site-to-site VPN configured between two different routers, Rogue support is here to help you with that. We can absolutely get that configured and working for you. There is one final type of VPN that is not listed here in the teleport and VPN section, and that is something called Site Magic. Site Magic is UniFi's implementation of SD-WAN, and it's a pretty new feature. You can get to Site Magic by going to the UniFi portal where you view all of your UniFi servers. All right, there's a new left-hand menu item that brings you to the Add New Site Magic group wizard. Site Magic works to configure site-to-site VPNs between UniFi networks. So remember, the site-to-site VPN functionality that's in a specific UniFi network controller is for connecting a site-to-site VPN with different types of equipment on each side. Site Magic is for connecting two different sites that are both UniFi gateways. And you can do that even if they're behind NAT or if they're on LTE or 5G connections. Now, to use Site Magic, you do have to have one of the UniFi gateway consoles, right? That's the UDM Pro, the UDM SE, the Dreamwall, Dream Machine, or the Dream Router, and it has to be running UniFi OS version 3.1 or higher. You can also do Site Magic with the UXG Pro paired with a cloud key, as long as that cloud key is running UniFi Network 7.4 or higher. At this point, the old school USG, like the little 3-port white device, is not compatible with Site Magic. Other requirements for Site Magic are that at least one of your gateways has to have a public IP address on the WAN interface, and all of the gateways in the Site Magic group have to be administered by the same UniFi account. Or in other words, you have to be the owner of all of the gateways, right? You can't use Site Magic between different UniFi single sign-on accounts. You'd have to use a site-to-site VPN for that. The current limitations of Site Magic are that you're only allowed to connect up to 5 sites together in a Site Magic group. But there's a note that says that limit's going to be increased with UniFi OS version 3.2. Also, if the UniFi Network Cloud has any issues, you're not going to be able to make any configuration changes to Site Magic, but the actual SD-WAN network that it creates will still remain intact. I haven't personally messed around with Site Magic too much, but I can definitely see this type of SD-WAN connectivity being useful to folks who have multiple UniFi network sites that they want to connect together. And I assume that all of the same firewall rules that I discussed previously would also apply to the Site Magic connection. And if there's enough interest in Site Magic, I will make a video on it, telling you how to configure it and secure it. Let me know down in the comments below if you are interested in that. In the meantime, if you'd like to keep this party going, I have hand-selected 2 videos on the right here for you to watch next. The top video is my recent video on configuring Cloudflare tunnels as a VPN alternative, and the bottom video is my recent video on the crazy 200 gigabit temporary network that was set up for 2 days at the LTX 2023 Whale LAN Gaming Conference.